Hi students, welcome back to the video class of Business Regulation. Today we are going to discuss the topic Void Agreement. According to section 2 subsection G of the Indian Contract Act, a void agreement is an agreement which is not enforceable by law. The agreement which are not enforceable by law right from the time when they are made are known as void ab initio. So, void agreement is void ab initio. That means from the very beginning the agreement is not valid. Agreement by or with an incompetent person, agreement made under bilateral mistake of fact, agreement without consideration or unlawful consideration, etc. are some of the examples of void agreement. Now we can discuss some of the agreements which have been declared to be void by the Contract Act. One of the essential features of a contract is that it should not be expressly declared as void. Now, what do you mean by a contract or an agreement which is expressly declared as void? An agreement expressly declared as void means it is communicated or it is expressed or it is declared by the law itself as void. That means the law itself states that if you perform this agreement, it will be void. If you remember, we have already studied many agreements which are expressly declared as void. So, this will almost like continuation of that topic. But there will be additional point in this topic. So, before starting with this video, I would like you to revise what we have done in the earlier topic. Under that topic, we have covered a lots of agreements which are expressly declared as void. Normally, agreements which are opposite to public policy are declared as void by the law. But there are some other agreements which are also declared void by the law. So, now it is important for a contract that it should not be declared void by the law. So, let us understand what are the agreements which are declared void. Because there will be lots of agreements which will be valid. I cannot go on stating all the agreements which are valid. So, let us state the agreements which are void. So, the remaining agreement or all the other agreements will become valid. So, let us list down the agreements which are expressly declared as void. So, the agreements are agreement made between incompetent parties, agreement entered into mutual mistake, agreement with unlawful consideration and object, agreements, the objects or consideration which is unlawful in part, agreement made without consideration, agreement in restraint of marriage, agreement in restraint of trade, agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, uncertain agreements, wagering agreements, agreement contingent on impossible events, reciprocal promises to do things legal and also other things illegal. So, these are the agreements which are expressly declared as void. In this number 1 to number 8, that is agreement made between incompetent parties, agreement entered into mutual mistake, agreement with unlawful consideration and object, agreement the objects or consideration which is unlawful in part, agreement made without consideration, agreement in restraint of marriage, agreement in restraint of trade, agreement in restraint of legal proceedings have already been discussed in earlier chapter. That means we have already discussed all these agreements in our previous chapter. So, in this video, I am planning to discuss with you the remaining agreements, that is uncertain agreement, wagering agreement, agreement to do impossible act, and reciprocal promises to do things legal and also other things illegal. So, first we can discuss uncertain agreements. As we have discussed in the very beginning, any agreement with uncertain and unclear term is void. Agreement must be very clear and certain. So, an uncertain agreement is an agreement, the meaning of which is not certain or capable of being made certain. This kind of agreement is void. Here uncertainty may be in respect of the quantity, quality, price and title of the subject matter of the agreement. So, where the term in an agreement is vague and may be interrupted in many ways, then the agreement is void because of uncertainty. For example, X agreed to sell 100 quintal of rice to Y. There is nothing in the agreement to show that what kind of rise was intended. So the agreement was void for uncertainty. Now next one is wagering agreement. What do you mean by wagering agreement? Wagering means betting. So this wagering agreement is mentioned in section 30 of the Indian Contract Act, which states that wagering agreement is an agreement between two parties where one party promises a specific amount of money to other on happening of an uncertain event. For example, I and my friend enter into a contract. I tell him, if it rains tomorrow, I will give you 100 rupees. But if it does not happen, you will have to give me 100 rupees. So this kind of arrangement between two people wherein cash would be exchanged depending upon a future uncertain event or depending upon an event, the result of which is not known to either party. So if it rain tomorrow, I will have to give 100 rupees. If it does not have rain, I will receive 100 rupees from him. So this is an example of wagering agreement. So once again, an agreement where cash is exchanged depending upon the result of an uncertain future event, it is known as wagering agreement. Okay, now we can discuss what are the essentials of wagering agreement. So the first one is uncertain event. So in wagering agreement, there must be two persons with opposite views at an event. Now next one or loss. So there must be a mutual chance of gain or loss. So take the previous example. In that case, there is an equal chance of having rain or not. Now next is parties have no other interest in the happening or non-happening of the event, which means neither party should have any other interest on happening of the event except the sum of money which either of them will win or lose after the determination of the uncertain event. Now next is no party has control over the event. In a wagering agreement, no party has control over the event. Now next is there must be a promise to pay money or money's worth. To constitute a wager, the promise should be to pay money or money's worth only. Now next is the bet money should come from the pockets of the parties themselves. That means in a wagering agreement, which means in a wagering transaction, it is necessary that the bet money for the uncertain event should come out of the pockets of the parties of the agreement. If it is done by outsiders, the agreement between the party is not a wager. Now next is there must be a common intention to bet at the time of making such an agreement. So in a wagering agreement, there is a common intention behind the agreement by both the parties. So these are all about essentials of a wagering agreement. Now moving to the next area, that is effects of wagering agreement. So what are the effects of wagering agreement? First effect is it is void in India. So section 30 says that in India, agreement by way of wager is void. Now next effect is in the state of Maharashtra and Gujarat, the wagering agreement have been declared to be illegal under the provision of Bombay Act 1865. So wagering agreement is declared as illegal in Maharashtra and Gujarat under the provision of Bombay Act 1865. Now next effect is no suit can be brought for recovering anything which is won in any wager. So there is no provision of recovering anything based on wagering agreement. Now next is transactions which are collateral to wagering agreement are not void in India except in the state of Maharashtra and Gujarat. So transactions which are collateral to wagering agreement are void in the state of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Other states it is not void. That is, other state it is valid. Here collateral means subsidiary to the main agreement. So these are all about effects of wagering agreement. Now we can discuss some exceptional cases where wagering agreement is not void. That is, in some cases wagering agreement is not void, it is valid. So the first case is speculative transaction. Speculative transactions are valid unless it is proved that there is no intention for the parties to take delivery of shares or goods. So in this case, speculative transactions are valid. Now next is horse racing. Under the exception clause of section 30 of the Contract Act, subscriptions or a contribution made for a prize or a sum of money to be awarded to the winner of a horse race is not unlawful if the value of such prize or money is rupees 500 or more. Once again, under the exception clause of section 30 of the Contract Act says that subscriptions or contribution made for a prize or a sum of money to be awarded to the winner of a horse race is not unlawful if the value of such prize or money is rupees 500 or more. Now next is lotteries. Lotteries are valid if it is state lottery or it is authorized by the state government. Now next is prize competition or athletic competition. Sometimes skill and intelligence plays a major part for the successful solution of certain competitions such as crossword puzzles, picture puzzles, quiz competitions, athletic competitions, etc. So such contests will not be a wager. Now next is contract of insurance. Insurance is a contract between two parties whereby one party undertakes to indemnify the loss of other on happening of an uncertain event in consideration of a certain payment called a premium. Now next is commercial transaction. Agreement to sell or purchase of any commodity is not wagering agreement. So these are all about exceptional cases related with the wagering agreement. Now we can discuss the main differences between insurance contract and a wagering contract. So the first difference is insurance is a contract of indemnity whereas wagering is not. Now next is no winning or losing in insurance, but it is there in wagering. The holder of an insurance policy must have an insurable interest in the event, but there is no such interest in wagering. There are scientific and actuarial calculation of risk in insurance contract, but there are no such scientific calculation in wager. Insurance contracts are beneficial to the public, whereas wagering do not serve any useful purpose. Insurance contract is legal and enforceable, but wagering is void. So these are the main differences between insurance contract and wagering contract. Once again, insurance is a contract of indemnity whereas wagering is not. No winning or losing in insurance, but it is there in wagering. The holder of an insurance policy must have an insurable interest in the event, but there is no such interest in wagering. There are scientific and actuarial calculation of risk in insurance contracts, but there are no such scientific calculations in wager. Insurance contracts are beneficial to the public, whereas wagering do not serve any useful purpose. Insurance contract is legal and enforceable, but wagering is void. Now moving to the next agreement which is declared as void, that is agreement to do impossible act. Section 36 of the Contract Act mentioned that an agreement to do an act impossible in itself is void. For example, M agree with N to discover treasure by magic. This agreement is void because of impossibility of the performance of the act. Now next void agreement is reciprocal promises to do things legal and also other things illegal. According to section 57, where there is a reciprocal promise firstly to do certain things which are legal and secondly to do certain other things which are illegal, and the legal part can be separated from the illegal part. The legal part is contract and the illegal part is void agreement. Now look the example. X and Y agree that X will sell a house to Y for 50,000, but that if Y uses it as a gambling house, he will pay X 1,50,000. The second set is for an unlawful object and hence it is void. The first set is valid since it can be separated. So these are all about agreements which are expressly declared as void. Now look the questions which are related in this area, that is what is void agreement, what is an uncertain agreement, what is wagering agreement, what are the essentials of wagering agreement, what are the effects of wagering agreement, what are the exceptions in wagering agreement, compare wagering agreement and contract of insurance, explain agreement to do impossible acts, explain reciprocal promises to do things legal and also other things illegal. So students, today we discuss what is void agreement. A void agreement is an agreement which is not enforceable by law, and we discuss some agreements which are expressly declared as void. So the agreements are agreement made between incompetent parties, agreement entered into mutual mistake, agreement with unlawful consideration and object, agreement the objects or consideration which is unlawful in part, agreement made without consideration, agreement in restraint of marriage, agreement in restraint of trade, agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, uncertain agreements, wagering agreement, agreement contingent on impossible events, reciprocal promises to do things legal and also other things illegal. So all these agreements are expressly declared as void agreement. So students, hope you get an idea about what is void agreement and what are the agreements which are expressly declared as void. Now we can wind up today's session. So see you in the next class. Till then, bye. Take care.